Proxy Table Gaming fans. I am Hyper G. I am with Lucky Sixes.
YOLO.
You've got new earphones.
I have got new earphones. My old ones are just worn. These are
What?
these smaller ears as well. These are more compact and wireless. So,
Oh, right. Okay.
haha. We will see. Yes,
Very good. I am not wireless. I have wires.
wireless. Yes.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Cool.
But yes. Otherwise, all the same, nonetheless. And we're
Yeah.
here to immediately bring you some team tournament news,
Team tournament action. Yeah.
action
Um,
news.
it's been an interesting few weeks, really. Oh my lord, that's a good.
All
Whoa!
right.
Someone's stepping up their graphics.
Whoa. March for Victory teams, and this is
Oh
the
man,
Firestorm emblem
look at that! Isn't that a
from
beauty?
Cardiff, which of course was where we were for the weekend.
It
And
was, yes.
before we really
And
get into the matchup and all that jazz, aha,
oh, what a
uh,
place!
we
It
have
was the
very
haven.
very nice. And this was a picture actually taken on the Friday,
Yeah,
so you
it
can
was
see
busy,
how
wasn't it?
busy it was there. It was double that on the Saturday as well,
Yeah, and the
and
Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday with lots of
Mm.
different tournaments. Actually, I was really excited to see one of our particular favourites was the Final Fantasy card game,
Yeah,
which was
yeah,
on downstairs. There was a bit of D&D going on,
there was.
loads of other stuff as well. The Bolt Action, I think, up with
Mm.
us, and we were on the sort of balcony up here, um,
Yeah.
which is really really cool. But yeah, let's just give you a bit of a context of
Mm.
where we were
It
and
was, and
stuff.
so March of Victory run by Ollie.
Hmm.
Um, who was playing numerous roles in this tournament organizing
He
sense,
was
wasn't
doing it all, man.
he?
What
Yeah.
a legend. He's captain of Team Wales. He was captain
Mm.
of one of the teams. I think he was the Daffodils or the
Right.
Daffs,
Yeah.
as they
As
were,
opposed to the leaks. Yeah.
as opposed to the Leaks. Then also To and
Yeah.
Judge and Timekeeper and
And player.
Herd Master, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And skipping to the end, he did a great job.
He did do a good job. He did very, very good.
So
He was very
massive
on it.
thank you to Ollie. And thank you to Firestorm, because I mean, they
Hmm.
obviously supported him in bringing it together. I think it's a great venue. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So
Absolutely.
I think
Very much
everyone at
so
the
as
tournament
well.
did 48 people in the tournament. That's not a
Yeah.
small number these
Yeah,
days, is it?
12
So
teams.
yeah,
And yeah, I think that is the second biggest of the year as well.
yeah,
At
could well
least so
be.
far.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So yeah.
and
And
so
speaking of team captains,
mm, well, yes. I don't know how it really happened, but I ended up being a team captain. Um, Basically, yeah. I was, I guess, a little bit slow in deciding that I was available for the event. And a lot of the teams had already formed by the time I decided I was available. So I got on the phone and wrangled some cats who didn't
very
have
much so.
homes, and formed a team. And what a team it was! So yeah, I had Shane Shepherd, Bristol Ninja, who obviously is a legend of the Ninth Age world. Well, actually, all four of us are legends, so
Yeah.
gonna ruin that little thing there. I had Jordan Davis from Chester, one of the Chester boys, and he was very excited to be running the new Orcs and Goblins. I should say Shane was
Yeah.
Dwarves, of course, Dwarven horse for Shane as he usually is. Yeah, Jordan playing the new Orcs and Goblins, which did mean I wasn't able to play the Orcs and Goblins because a teammate was already playing them. So Jordan, captain, let you play Orcs and Goblins, and Richard Harris, who's we mentioned a couple of times, I think, on previous reports.
Yeah.
Played him a few times now, and he's relatively new back to the scene, having played it previously. A thoroughly nice bloke. In all three of my team were nice chaps actually.
And he
Part
was
of the
running
reason why they
KOE,
were,
wasn't he?
yeah. He was running KOE, which is his current love, and and some beautiful models between the three of them, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, so a really cool team. We called ourselves Only Blocks and Horses, which was a name I think Jordan suggested it, mainly because Jordan was blocks of Feral Orcs, I was blocks of Tegu, and Shane was blocks of Kingsguard and Dwarven Holds. And then we had the horses in the Equitane. So we were Only Blocks and Horses.
It was very good. It's very good.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
And you
So
ended up against ID. Round
we
one.
did. I paired with ID. It's really interesting, the pairing system. If you haven't been part of a team for pairings, it's really worth doing just for the fun of it, because it's hilarious how the pairings work out. You know, you come up with green matchups, orange matchup, red matchups, whatever, and none of it ever turns out, because you always end up with some random pairings. And of course, you could pair yourself or get paired by your captain into a green matchup, but the opponent might also think that's a green matchup. So you could both be thinking you're going to win.
Yeah.
And really, predictions mean absolutely jack squat once you actually get going. But
and this was both of our first team tournament in real life.
In real life, yeah, we've done a couple of online ones, haven't we? But this was our first tournament. And,
yeah, man.
Real life. It was really cool. I mean, my guys were excellent throughout. So thank you to Shane, Jordan, and Richard. I had a great time. And as these battle reports go on, we'll find out how they got on as well, because it's not just me reporting my results. I mean, there aren't photos from the other battles, but I'll tell you how they did.
Yeah.
And yeah, so my first round opponent was Marcin from Team Titanfall, who is a top bloke. I mean, you know, if you ever want a fun game, look out Marcin, because whether it be good or bad, it will be fun with Marcin, and superb player on the scene. Really enjoyed myself throughout. He wasn't his team captain. It was Crease was the team captain, but I had great fun pairing with him as well. But anyway, enough of that chit chat. We need to actually get on with some action before this really really drifts into loads of time. So yeah, I was taking Saurian Ancients. Ironically, Saurians had a new book or a hotfix on the Thursday of the tournament, and then the tournament started Saturday. So my list, I mean, you've done well here to get the points how they are shown on screen. My list was different to how the book suggests. So a lot of people I was playing against were like, "Well, which book are you using?" I was like, "I have to use the old one, even though you just downloaded the new one."
Yeah.
So it was a bit weird. And the rules have changed a lot in that hotfix. So, you know, but what have I got? So it's a version of what I took to Art of War. So there is that as a backbone. Anorak Archmage, Divination, Talisman of the Void, Rod of Battle, Mind Shifting Mastery. I think the only thing different about Art of War is the Mind Shifting Mastery. I dropped the Pyromancy spells, the Forbidden Law, and got Mind Shifting Mastery, because at this current iteration, it meant I could do 2 attribute spells with every divination spell. Amazing. And dirt cheap. So I was running that at that time. The Tegu Veteran, I know in my rant video, I very much bashed the changes to the Tegu Veteran. He was down to 4 attacks, which isn't as good as 5 attacks for obvious reasons. But I built him pretty much exactly the same, with the Shield, Willer's Ward, Spear, Glory of the Dawn Age, Light Armor, Vital Essence, and a Potion of Swiftness. But I dropped Ranger's Boots. I dropped Ranger's Boots because I didn't see him as aggressive with only 4 attacks. So basically, I was always planning on keeping him in my unit and didn't need him to do solo charges, because 4 attacks not as reliable at killing stuff.
That makes sense, to be fair.
So yeah, and actually in the hotfix in the new book, you can't afford Ranger's Boots as well. So even with 5 attacks in the hotfix, you can't go back to having Ranger's Boots. So unless I drop Swiftness, which I won't be doing. So. Anywho, 2 Skink Veterans, both Poison Javelin, one with paired weapons and an Infiltrator's Dart, just to differentiate them. And Infiltrator's Dart gives me an extra Predator Senses on the Ramphidons and Sigisaurs. Big block of Tegu Warriors, not maximum numbers, with Spears, Enclave Wizard with Awaken the Beast, and the Standard Bearer with Flaming Standard this time, which pairs well with Mind Shifting Mastery, so I can get rerolls to wound with Alchemical Fire. I switched out the Tegu Warriors for 20 Skink Warriors, because basically they just sit at the back and provide the Divination Champion Enclave Wizard with a bit of extra range. I never once cast Entwining Roots, which is the spell they have.
Sure.
So it's literally just there to increase divination range. Although the Skink Warriors do get a bit of action in later battles, so watch out for them. 2 lots of Skink Hunters because they're light troops and they're amazingly good at just annoying and getting in the way of things. And 12 poison javelin shots, not to be sniffed at either.
Yeah, bit of poison
for each unit. Yeah, 26 Tiger Guard, 2 less than Art of War. They are currently in a rough place in this book. So they're using weapons that are only Strength 5, AP2, and attack last. Not ideal, but I found a way around that by putting a Thyroscutus in with them, with the Monolith of Vitalism, so that they still had parry. So they had parry themselves, because originally you can only take 1 Thyroscutus herd with Great Protector. Now you can take 2. So I had both my blocks using Great Protector, so both had parry, which is kind of cool. The Tiger Guards also had a Flaming Standard for rerolls to wound. The other Thyroscutus had the Lone Stone Shield, which is the 5 pages to shooting, which I had before. Then I decided to try out Tegu Mystics with the champion for Enclave Wizard. They take 2 spells, which meant they get a channel, which is really cool. So I had channel 3 on this army, which is a nice number to have. And yeah, I wanted to try them out. A lot of people on looking at the book, whatever iteration, were like, Mystics aren't that good. But I found them to be like, hang on, they do a little bit of everything, but nothing well. So give them a chance and see what happens, and maybe you'll like them. So yeah, we'll see how they get on. They're kind of like in the hot spotlight for this tournament. See how they do. 3 Ramphadon Riders, love my Ramphadons, just beautiful. But they might do terribly, but I still love them after all these years. 8 Skink Gorillas with Magnetic Shortbow and Vanguard. They're just to cause annoyances again. And 2 Stygisaur pack. That was my challenge to paint. I painted up a Stygisaur for this tournament.
Very nice.
Obviously not as good as the one that Nemeroth painted for me, but you'll see him in action. He's got a champion, mostly taking Swarm of Insects. So over to Marcin, East Beast, as he's known in shady areas of the world. So he took an Overlord General, Bull of Shamut, Great Weapon Cleansing Light, and the extra weapon, the Infernal weapon, Onyx Core, Essence of Mithril, and Ring of Desiccation. That guy's scary.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't like flying monsters. I didn't think this was a good matchup just from looking at him, the general, because I have not had much success against flying monsters. I don't know how to deal with them at all, and I don't have the tools to deal with them. Divination doesn't really get through armor, and both these guys, looking at the Vizier Bull of Shamut as well, there's 2 of them. Yeah, they both have armor, and divination doesn't do well at getting through armor. So I was concerned about both of those from a pairings perspective. Very much my team. I tried in round 1, especially. I didn't want to upset my team, so I tried to get the best matchups for them, and I would take what's left. And this is what I got. So I wasn't thrilled about this matchup at all going into it. But pleased to play Marcin, so there's that. Prophet of Luga, Wizard Master Alchemy. Alchemy is going to be a little bit of an issue because I do have 3 up armors across the board, but not as bad as if I was still taking Raptor Riders, who I had dropped.
Yes,
so
definitely.
There is that. 18 Citadel Guard with Flintlock Axes. Love them. They're really good. Looking forward to see what they can do against me. 2 blocks of Vassal Levies, one with Shield and Bow. Well, actually both with Bow, one with Spears as well. And their Master's Banner, I can't remember what that does. No, can't remember what that does. But I don't think it comes into play too much. Yeah, can't remember. 5 Turok Anointed, great weapon. Those guys are the little ones on the cavalry bases.
Yeah.
They're scoring and pretty decent in combat as well. And they're res 5, I think. Are they res 5? Or?
I'm not sure the little
enforcers that are res 5s, but yeah. They're pretty cool, pretty nifty. 3 Infernal Artillery. A rocket battery and 2 Naphtha throwers. My infantry might not like the Naphtha throwers very much because they are pretty high strength as well. So I was looking to single those out. 5 Torokant Enforcers. They are res 5 and paired weapons. Big red flag for me there because it's going to go straight through my parry if I let them get into me.
Yeah.
And then just to round it off, a nice Kadim Titan with a Walking Earthquake.
Nice.
It's just tough. So yeah, there you go. On other tables, I had Jordan playing against Adlake. So that was Orcs and Goblins versus Vermin Swarms. I had Shane playing against Crease, I think. What was that? Dwarves versus Ogres. And Richard KOE was playing against Lewis's, I want to say Highborn Elves, but it might not have been. But anyway, we'll find out the results at the end of this battle. Cool. We were marching columns, all of us, and King of the Hill. I love the graphics, mate. You've done well.
Oh, thank you. And here are the
there they are. So was I right about Highborn Elves? I was right about Highborn Elves. Brilliant. Yes, so that was who we would go against. And those little cards, by the way,
very
Ollie
cool.
made those as well. So in case he was even more of a glutton for punishment, he very much put some extra effort into that, and that made it even better. It was a nice touch. Yeah. So I think of these, sorry, I know you moved off. That's fine. Of these, I think we had 2 greens, maybe 1 medium, and then my one I didn't particularly fancy. So
yeah,
cool. So yeah, let's look at the deployment. I'm trying to like multitask and find the results for later, but I'll get to that because obviously I only really remember my own result offhand. Right, so let's talk about his deployment. He's got the Turok enforcers on his left flank, then the Kadim Titan just on the obstacle. Mm-hmm. Then he's got a unit of vassals, the small vassals, followed by a flame Naphtha thrower, followed by the big vassals. He's got his BSB Bull of Shemet behind, another Naphtha thrower, then the Citadel Guard with flintlocks. Then he had a rocket battery, then the general on the bull, and he had the anointed all the way in the corner, and I was pleased to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was cool. I had my light troops skinks with one of the skink veterans in the forest on the left. Then I had the guerrillas in front of the Sigisaurs. There you see my Sigisaur. He didn't have a rider. That was on me. But yeah. There was the Tegu warriors with a Thyro Scootus borrowed from Hugh Scarlin. So thank you very much, Hugh, for lending me that Thyro. Very much appreciated. I couldn't quite finish my Thyro in time. Behind them are the Tegu Mystics, looking to increase the divination range, as well as support with their spells. I think I actually took Silver Spike and Ancestral Aid with them this time. So I was looking for opportunities to peep out for a Silver Spike.
Yeah, definitely.
But that was very much a learning experience because I don't think I got it right in this one. So don't worry too much about Silver Spike. Ramphadon's in the middle, ready to vanguard and go wherever. And then I got my big blocker Tegu Guard with the Thyro Scootus in the middle. That is a Taurosaur model. Apologies again, but you know, he looks all right in there. And the Anorak's in there, and then I got the light troops, skink hunters on the right hand side. Far right, I don't know if I get a picture of it or not. I've got the skink warriors with the other skink chieftain. They were basically looking to pressure the King of the Hill. Martin chose the forest on the left, my left, so he was trying to get to that. I chose the field top right, so I had to at least make it look like I was going to go for it. I think, do I drop for first? I think basically he had the opportunity to block me off the field because he knew my skink warriors were in the bottom corner. And so he literally just put everything. It was marching columns as well. So I went left to right. He went left to right as we're looking at it. And yeah. Cool. So let's see how we go. That's just a quick picture of my boys. So Shane and Chris and Jordan playing Adlake. The table at the very bottom is Equitane, ready to play against Highborns. Me in the middle. Yeah. Here we go, boys. Here we go.
Some pictures of the army.
Oh yeah, some pictures a bit closer up. Not as close as details would like, but it's very cool.
Pictures never do it justice to a lot of the people that we come up against, but some very nice armies on show.
Yeah,
all round
actually. The centaurs, the enforcers, they were particularly nice. I actually told Martin I'd get a close up of them, and I forgot, so apologies. But yeah, looking very cool. So first picture. I mean, you know, awesome. Obviously, I got turn 1. divination range was 27 inches, which is filthy because of my extensions from all the other wizards nearby.
Mm.
And I got 6 wounds off on the Titan. What a start! What a start to a tournament, right? It's got 7 HP, and already the Titan is down to 1 left. I rolled double. I boosted it. It was the only spell I got off in the phase, so it was literally like all my dice left. To get it through. I boosted it, got double 6 on the hits, and wounded. And he didn't make too many saves on his on his divine stuff. So yeah, that was awesome. This was my movement, quite tentative, but
yeah, I actually into the middle.
Yeah, pretty much just moving up a bit. I'd scouted out, I'd noticed that there was a water feature right in front of my Tegu guard, and I was very aware that ID play around with flaming attacks, and so I figured to myself, if I stand in the water, it'll turn off his flaming attacks. So it doesn't matter how many incendiary markers he gets.
Absolutely,
his flaming attacks won't work.
Yeah.
So I was already scouting that out as an anchor point for my Tegu guard to make him go into the water, to try and see how that works. I deployed these guys to try for the field and the objective, but the field was very much defended by stuff a little bit tougher than skinks. So I turned them around in my turn 1. The Entwining Roots card is next to them. I never cast it, so don't worry about it. Yeah. And there's that. He moves up as so, moves his Anointed into more of a threatening position for me. So I'm very much looking at goading them into the water if they want to fight me, to hopefully turn off flaming, etc. Over here, interestingly, actually, I vanguarded my gorillas to there and then forgot to move them in my movement phase.
Oh, right, because you went first.
So, because I went first, I felt like I'd already moved them because it was only a minute ago. We laughed about it. Marcin and I laughed about it because I only remembered at the start of my shooting phase. I was like, I forgot to move them, and I could blatantly be within 18-inch range of your Titan. And we were like, I'm not even going to ask to move them afterwards. I just did 6 wounds to your Titan with unerring strike. So I foregoed. I made a mistake and stuck with it. So because it would have been harsh to then shoot it off. He shoots and kills one of my Ramphrodons, which is fine. I think that's some bow shots coming in. The flintlocks were out of range this turn. And I move up some more. I go for the kill on the Titan. I was quite surprised actually that he moved it forward. I thought he might run away and hide.
Yeah.
Although there's a limit to how much you can hide with 27-inch divination.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was probably the right call, really, to hope he could just survive a bit longer. I chaffed it with the Skink Chieftain, and got my poison javelins and magnetic shortbows in a position where they could clink, hopefully.
Yeah, nice. So you're going to do one more wound?
I need to do one more wound, and I decided I needed my divination anorak to be facing the war machines to try and plink away at them. So I trusted in Skinks to get that last wound. Will I do it? I moved the Ramphrodons up and backed them up with the Tegu, who couldn't be seen by the mortar. Oh, no, the mortar could. No, it didn't matter that the mortar could see them because they were chaffed.
Yes.
So it wasn't a problem. And to be honest, I wasn't actually too worried if the Morton came in with only 1 HP left, because I think my dude could have plucked him. He would have been higher agility. So I wasn't too fussed about that. Otherwise, I'm just anchoring my right flank, really. And the Skink Warriors continue moving back towards me in turn 2. I'd worked out that if we got the full 6 turns, I could reform in my turn 3 and then leg it up the flank all the way to get into the field. So this was an okay move to make it, like so. Unerring strike, not quite as successful this time. Just get 1 wound off in his BSB. I was out of range of the flame cannon, so I had to go for the BSB. But
it's still pretty good.
Away at a bull, so I'm really happy with that. And I got Awaken the Beast on the poisoned javelins
for an extra AP.
No, actually, that won't help with shooting for poison javelins, will it? but it's okay, so don't worry about it. I don't know what I was thinking.
Because it's these guys that do it.
It's these guys who do it with the Strength 3 magnetic short bows. They were the first ones I shot because, in theory, they didn't have poison and they had the least chance of killing it. So I thought I'll start with them, and they killed it. So
Nice.
Great. So yeah, they meant that the actual poison javelins had nothing to shoot at.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. He declares a charge with his Torok, onto my Skink Chieftain, and now I decide to flee because he's not chaffing the Titan anymore, so it's not a problem. He redirects into my gorillas, and I flee that, and then he makes a really long charge and gets the Skink gorillas.
Nice.
Can't complain about that at all. They've killed the Titan,
Yeah.
done the job. The only thing I do need to be aware of is this is a scoring unit, and they are very close to that forest, which is the king of the hill for him.
Yeah.
So I do have to deal with this unit. He also makes a charge into the flank of my Ramphadons. Now, I was interested by that because he's only got 8 strength 3 attacks, but he is hitting on 3s because Ramphadon's defensive is really bad. And he has got ability to get rerolls to wound with alchemical fire and all that jazz, and glory of gold, etc. So I was intrigued how that was going to work out, because I wasn't bothered about him overrunning into the front of my Tegu. In fact, I was happy to use them as they can take off whatever's left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was intrigued how that was going to go. So I was fine with it. He's clocking up a whole load of incendiary markers on my Tegu guard, by the way, through various shooting. Not killing a whole lot because I've got the lodestone shield nearby. But yeah, all those tokens are going to rack up throughout the game.
Talking them up.
Yeah. I think that's just a picture of over there. Nothing more to say. And in his turn. Yeah, this is his turn.
Yes, still.
He's moved now. He moves his general bull into the flank of my Tegu guard, just constantly shifting my anchor to the right, which is fair enough. And he's moved his anointed into a row of 5, and got in range with a lot of his shooting. I think that's pretty much that. Another load of shots gets more incendiary on me, and I'm giggling to myself about the water that I'm defending. So And then this happened. So yeah, his 8 attacks. Oh, Marcin, he rolled terribly. He got Glory of Gold off on them as well in Magic. So they were actually AP, and he left my Ramphadon with 2 HP, a whole load of combat res. But in this version of the book, Ramphadons are stubborn in combat. Who knew? I knew, fortunately. So by not killing them, I was stubborn. And it meant I held. I also reformed. The Ramphadon, single Ramphadon left. I did have the Predator Census marker on those guys. So the single Ramphadon killed 5 in return. Yeah. So because he had 5 attacks, stomp, battle focus. It was
crazy.
The level of redemption I did in return, and it opened the door to the Tegu warriors who, because Marcin managed to kill exactly 1 Ramphadon, I could move around the other Ramphadon, charge into the vassals, and a little overrun into the into the BSB Bull of Shamut behind. Not great for Marcin at all, and I think it just really scuppered him not killing that Ramphadon. I mean, as it would, you expect.
Yeah.
I guess you expect to do. With Glory of Gold, he was re-rolling to wound, an extra AP. Even with only 8 attacks, I think odds are on him killing both Ramphadons.
You've got to do 4 wounds in total, isn't he?
4 wounds in total, and it would have been. I suppose I would have had a 4-up armor. I wouldn't have had a Fortitude anymore. 5-up armor. Sorry, they start at 4-up these days.
So hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, re-rolling.
No, then you've got wounding on 4s, re-rollable, and then I've got 5-up armor. Yeah. So, I guess. Well, with Marcin's dice, it was Marcin's dice that did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bad luck, son. Over on the left flank, my Sigisaurs had to address the Torok enforcers. They had to be there. I rallied my Skink Chieftain and my Javelins just run up behind to shoot as well in short range. My Tegu Mystics are very much just anchoring the line in between my two units, and the Tegu Guard are just making the Bull General in my front. I moved up my other Poison Javelins to be in the flank of the Bull, and I outdiced Marcin on a Fate's Judgment.
Nice.
Oh, I did not feel good about that again because his dice were really going south at this point. But hey, you know, it did 4 out of 5 wounds to the flame cannon, which is awesome. You know, and followed up with an unerring strike, which he had no dice to save against.
That was like one of the worst failed.
Absolutely, no fizzles or anything. Yeah, he dispelled Swarm of Insects on the Tauruk Enforcers over by the Stygiasaur's side, so that was what he had no dice for. And then, considering he dispelled Swarm of Insects with his other dice, my old Poison Javelins get right through the armor of the Tauruks and kill 3 of the 5 of them. Gladly, they passed their panic. You know, I don't know, even maybe they're fearless, but they didn't flee. And I was really pleased for Marcin. Because that would have been horrible. Over here, I don't kill all the vassals to a man. And they do strike back and get revenge on the Ramphadon, so that's good, at least. But it does mean an overrun into the front of the Bull. And that Bull probably can't take that level of punishment, either from combat res or attacks.
Yeah.
The vassals flee like a terribly small distance as well, enough to, you know, get away, but not, and potentially that even blocks the flank charge from the other vassals and everything, which isn't great for him. And yeah, Marcin decides to kind of run for the corner. I don't think there's any way he could have stood up to a Stygiasaur charge if he had have gone for the objective.
Sure.
So it's kind of the right move to try and keep that unit alive. But yeah, there is that. I'm anchored. Oh no, so this is in his turn, isn't it? He rallies the vassals, which is cool because he was within 6 inches of his BSB, so I had Infernal Brand.
Sure, yeah.
So you know that's good or bad because they're still in the way, kind of thing. And he moves his Bull into the flank of the Tegu Guard. It's getting to the point now where he's stretching out the distance between the Bull and the Anointed so much that it's hard for me to keep both in the front.
Yeah.
And anchor on the water, but just about managing it. So yeah, and the Citadel Guard are very much shooting. This guy misfired.
Of course.
Only misfires on a 1. This guy rolls for his rocket battery. Because, by the way, my Skink Chieftain, just in the bottom of the shot there, has legged it up the flank. When the Skinks turned around, the Chieftain ran forward. Sure. I basically just wanted to protect my Tegu Guard from getting rocket batteried every turn. And this is the second round of shooting that my Tegu Skink has taken from that rocket battery. Is it the second or the first? It might be the first. But either way, that was a misfire and it took a wound. So Marcin just... nothing you can
4
do.
Round of
like
machines. Yeah.
He is plinking away at the Tegu Guard, so more incendiary markers, but and I don't think they had the Lodestone Shield in range this time, so they took a few more. Marcin issued a duel with his Bull BSB. I ummed and ahed about this one because I had got a lot of attacks, etc. I didn't really want to put it in with the champion because I didn't think I would touch it with the champion.
Yeah.
And with a potion of swiftness, etc., my guy attacks first. He's taken a wound, so he's only got 3 left, and he needs to do 3 wounds. And with the Glory of the Dawn Spear, chances are I can do multiple wounds if I roll all right. So yeah, I accepted the duel with my boy and popped him before he struck. So the 4 attacks still managed it. So should I have not complained about 4 attacks?
Absolutely.
Yes, but yeah. In my turn, I pop off these guys with a swarm of insects because Marcin's armor was non-existent. Charge in the Skink Chieftain. I think that wound is after combat, actually, but we'll see.
Sure, looks fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, is this the last picture? Blimey. Fair enough. Yeah, no, it would be. Essentially, the battle ended there. with me anchoring around. We didn't get all 6 turns in, but basically, I by this point had said to Marcin about my water trick because I didn't want him to charge and me to then turn off flaming attacks because he was having such rotten dice anyway. The last thing I wanted to do was pull that trick on him.
Yeah.
And like he get all these flaming stuff into the front of my Tegu guard
with all that incendiary,
all that incendiary for rerolls, etc. And then me to say, oh, by the way, you don't have flaming anymore because I'm sitting in the water. I really didn't want to do that, so I'd already told him about this, and he decided not to charge. I decided I'd had enough. I'd got enough for the expectation of the battle. My skink chieftain ended up beating the rocket battery in combat and killing it, which was ridiculous because
really
technically a skink chieftain probably shouldn't beat the dwarf.
How many attacks you have?
I had 4 attacks. I was paired weapons, but you know, going in with only 1 HP and res 3, the dwarf should have popped him.
Yeah, sure.
And I got the points for the rocket battery as well, I think. So yeah. Overall, I mean, you know, Marcin couldn't possibly have really fought against me with those dice he had, and I had some good dice as well, which didn't help.
Sure.
Yeah, we drew the objective though, because I didn't win the field. I didn't get my skinks round in time.
Yeah.
He didn't get the anointed, the enforcers into my forest. So yeah, it was a victory point victory and 14-6. What a good start for old Hyper G.
Yeah, man. Captain leading by example in a bad matchup.
Apparently so. I'm trying to work out how the others got on.
So do you feel like it was a bad matchup after that? Because I know you said it was. Do you feel like your prediction was right, or do you think it was more drawish anyway?
I think it was more drawish anyway, potentially. But I think if Marcin had played aggressively and run his Toruk Anointed and both his balls at me full pelt, then I might have struggled. Because the reason why it worked so well was because I was able to pick off the Titan. I picked off a War Machine. I overran into the Bull. And I could isolate his enforcers on the flank.
Sure.
I think if I was dealing with all of that at the same time as dealing with Anointed and Bulls running at me, I might have still struggled. So I don't think it was a green matchup, but I think because I had the time to pick it apart, it was okay in the end.
Sure. Yeah.
But like I say, Marcin's dice just weren't going to let him have anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was really rough. I mean, I had a good round 1 at Art of War against James McDonnell where his dice were bad, but these dice were really bad. So, you know, there's that. In regards to the rest of the team, Jordan got a superstar 20-0 victory over Adelaide's Vermin. Nice. He was delighted with that because he didn't fancy playing against Vermin, but we decided as a team that his loads of Feral Orcs could deal with the Vermin swarms.
Sure.
And he pulled in a 20-0 victory, so well done, Jordan. Shane got a very closely fought 11-9 victory out of the Ogre Kingdoms. That rested very much on the fact that Kreese made a good decision to go for the objective rather than turning around and facing his Hold Guardians. And I think that very much ensured the drawn objective rather than a big loss. So nice one, Kreese, in only going down 11-9 to Shane. And the other one was closely fought as well. Richard in my team went down 9-11 to Lewis's Highborns. But it did mean, with my 14-6, that we capped with 50 points, which is the maximum points you can achieve in a round. So basically, we achieved 31, 45. We achieved 54, went down to 50. And yeah, what a great start for Team Only Locks.
Yeah.
What a round. It was
Captain
really enjoyable.
Fantastic.
There are consequences from capping 50 points. Because it meant we went into round 2, numero uno, top of the table. We were the only team to cap 50 points in round 1. It means the opposition could well, I mean, not say get harder, because round 1 is completely drawn, randomly. So, but we're not going to be against we're going to be against a team that's had a good round 1 as well. So there is that. But yes, we are top of the table going into round 2. How thrilled am I at that good start? Any thoughts from yourself, Lucky Sixes?
No, it was good. It was good. I like the water, using the terrain. That's very, very good as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good magic. 27 div is baller, mate.
It is. It is,
absolute
mate.
baller.
Yeah, but that is the last water you see in a battle report. I swear. I mean, I'm not complaining. Ollie did a great job, but where's the water, man?
Where's the water? Go on.
Where was my water? Yeah. So, yeah, cool, great. So we'll move on to your round one. You and Team England going for the glory, and you've got two Team Englands, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We have got England A and England 1.
Politics.
Politics. Thankfully, had nothing to do with any naming anything, so that was good. But yeah, no, looking forward to it. It's me, Hugh, Tanker, and Wes against, and it was against Team England as well. Team England won against
next round. Then.
Yeah, Jake, who was captain, Josh, Darren, and Luke. So yeah, really interesting. We kind of all know each other's list pretty well, so we weren't expecting anyone to cap, but we will see.
Oh, that's a statement right there. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think of my list, what you think of Martin's terrible dice. Could he have done anything with such bad dice? Arguably no. And yeah, roll on into round one, Lucky Sixes.
Yeah, man.
See you there.
See you later.